global ghost hunt, it means a lot to me. And the reason why it means a lot to me is not because I'm here to serve other paranormal researchers and teams and enthusiasts alike that want to join global ghost hunt, but it also focuses on these locations, these historic locations that mean so much to each and every one of us. You know, growing up, I was never into history or science or anything. And after I had my experience that led me down this path, it was really important to go to these locations. And when I went there, I saw how decrepit some of these locations are. And I think it's so important to get the word out about these locations because, you know, we need to save these locations. This isn't just for ghost hunting. This is for not just for research either, but this is to save history. These places are history. These things that happen there, we need to save that. And, you know, there's not a lot of money that's coming into these locations besides when we have groups and stuff that go there to investigate. But Global Ghost Hunt is focusing on bringing those locations back to its original form so that everybody from my kids to my grandkids could maybe go there one day and experience what I'm experiencing when I go out and I investigate. And not only that, the paranormal investigators is the #1 priority with Global Ghost Hunt. That is the reason why I feel that Global Ghost Hunt is so important to me, because we don't just focus on the locations, we focus mainly on the paranormal researchers and the locations, which is such a vital importance to this whole organization. We want to have the paranormal investigators completely taken care of so that they have the best overnight investigation, and for them to thrive and for them to be able to stream so that people don't just get the massive amount of exposure for other people around the globe to see them, to see what real investigators do, but also to excite the ones that aren't paranormal researchers to maybe get into this field and, who knows, maybe expand it even further.
Hey,
how you doing?
Was long. That was long, wasn't it? That was.
Do you know it was long? But AJ's video, you know, the passion that you hear in his voice when he's describing the global ghost hunt, you got to give him credit. He's really put it out there. You know, and I think he'd done the video justice, to be fair.
And he did. And I will let you know there was still another 4 minutes to
Was
that video. And I had to cut it. Because even that minute or that video was it was 3 minutes long. And I had to, unfortunately, I had to cut it, and because he had a lot more to say, which a lot of it was really, really good points, but unfortunately, I ended up having to cut that down. But maybe what I'll do is I will put up the full video up on YouTube.
That'd be great. I think because he does cover a lot of areas, and he did a really good job on the video, so it'll be good for everyone to see.
Yes, you're right. And Raymond, Raymond, you're right. Lex has changed.
Yes,
he has changed. Unfortunately, some sad news. Lex had to go into McDonald's today to quit, and so he wanted to take some time away from the show to regroup. And no. I'm kidding. Unfortunately, there was a family thing going on that unfortunately some sad news within Lex's family. Not sure if he wants for me to really say anything, but people can reach out to him. And unfortunately, Lex's grandfather passed away this past weekend. So he's with his family today, and I wish him only the best. And his family, my condolences to his family as well. We're thinking about you, Lex. We love you, and we look forward to having you back next week because I believe we might have GSI coming on the show. So, and what's great about that is they're going to be sending me some clips on their new season that they just released on Paraflix. So we're going to watch some of their clips on their new season. It's going to be a lot of fun. So
that's cool.
Those guys are great. And you know what? We have a great show today. We have two guys that I absolutely, and I say this in a masculine way. Okay. I adore these two guys. And obviously I had the pleasure to investigate with them last year in the UK, and it was a lot of fun. We did the Murley House.
Yeah, we did Murley House together.
Yeah, and then we did I believe they were there. We did the church ruins with them as well, and that was a lot of fun. And we did that with GSI. John and Ralph, and they were great guys. And I knew it was going to happen as soon as I walked up and met them for the first time. They shouted out, "Wait, there's a Canadian here." That sounds like a Canadian voice. So, but no, that was a lot of fun. But the patrol are here today, Rob Hodges and Rob Mclean, and I'm looking forward to speaking to them. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy them because they're a lot of fun and they're really, really super nice guys. And it's funny because I always look back at that show that we did with them last year. And, you know, I didn't know a lot about them at the time, but they came on the show, and me and Lex were looking at them to get them to grow. And they were on the show and they grew. And they hit that mark that a lot of people want to hit when it comes to YouTube. And they've been great friends ever since. And one of the guys that's here is the guy that started the McDonald's. That started the McDonald's memes. And I still have that meme in my folders. And I should bring it out every once in a while, you know, just to click it on and click it off. And yeah, he's the one that I believe it was Rob Hodges that started the McDonald's thing. Yeah, it was funny. It's funny. But so before we bring them up, what's going on with you? You had a great show the other day.
Yeah, we had it was actually great because we had Bold and Bonkers on. Yep. You know, I've seen them a few times on Through the Lens, and they bring like a lot of character to their shows. If you watch them, you know, their title is what they are, Bold and Bonkers. They're great. And then I had the pleasure of having Jenny as a co-host with me as well. And to have Bold and Bonkers and then Crazy Jenny from Ireland, it just worked. It was
all over the place, wasn't it? It was it was UK, it was Scotland, it was Ireland, and it was America.
So we had a really good mix. But you know, and what's great about it, there was so much more that we could have spoken about with Dakota and Chris. You know, we're doing a second show on, if I got it right, Friday, but we're going to be doing it on Jenny's show instead of my one. So, you know, we're looking forward to a part 2 with them because there's so much we're going to go through with them. But no, it was great. It was a blast, you know, and it's great to have so many people joining in. I think that's what makes the shows better, is when you get people that interact. Yeah. You know, us crazy people, you know, so it's been great. It's been absolutely great. And we're looking forward to doing a second part with them soon. And then for me, I think the next thing would be, as always, the Global Ghost Hunt. Me and Matt are starting to talk about a second podcast for the Global Ghost Hunt and what we're going to do and how it's going to go. So yeah, there's a lot going on. That really exciting.
Who's this? Who's Facebook?
You love us. We're crazy
people. I'm glad you came back, Facebook user. You're here every single week.
Is that Jenny? Would that be Jenny?
No, because Jenny's right underneath it.
Oh, is she really?
Yes.
Let me give you a bit of warning about Jenny. Never go on a drinking session with her. She nearly killed my liver. Honestly.
Or don't mix Ireland and the UK together.
Yeah, it's just. But then you joined the party last night. We had a good time, didn't we, Bryan?
Yes, we did. We
started doing some call outs from.
Yeah, and we've determined that. And I told her this before. Oh, it's Chris. It's Chris from Bald and Bonkers.
Hey, that's Chris. Who it is.
And don't blame him. He's from Scotland. And, don't blame him for being from Scotland. Still a good guy, though. But yeah, we were doing call outs last night. We were doing voice recording. And I've told Jenny this before. I saw the man in her place. And there is a man there. And he came through the voice recorder.
But isn't it funny? Because one of the questions that you asked is, are you related to Jenny? And with a split second when we re-listened to it, there was a very clear no.
Yes.
And I was saying to Jenny, one of the things I said this previously, do you think that the spirits can still communicate with us if we're in different parts, like Jenny at home, you in Canada, me in England, Jenny, and it worked. It really did work. And we have proof when you listen back to the audio, and it was great. And, for us, I think me and Jenny, we're up till 6 o'clock in the morning, so it was.
So you guys were up longer because what time did I leave? I think I left, I think it was 2 o'clock, somewhere around there, my time.
Yeah, I think all of us, that you can see that we were all starting to fade away, but
I was exhausted. I haven't slept. Yeah, I haven't slept much in the last couple of days, and I realized that my eyes were starting to close. I was starting to get exhausted. I knew it was time for me to leave, and if I didn't leave then, I don't think I would have fallen asleep when I went to bed. But
it was good fun last night. It was great, and just to quickly mention, it just proves about the paranormal field. You got 3 people from different parts of, you got Ireland, Canada, England, and we were having a good time. Like, we don't need to be in the same room because we could just do what we did last night and we had a great time.
What's interesting about that, what you said earlier about the in different parts, if they can communicate, if they can come back and forth. I did an investigation at a canal. And it made me think of this. We were doing I was with somebody else, and we were doing a K2 kind of session, kind of type of thing. And I asked the question, do you come back and forth? And the K2 lit up like a Christmas tree. And it was really, really super interesting because I think it's definitely a question that a lot of people wonder in this field. Are they able to come back and forth? From one realm to another, and that kind of answered that question. And as you know me, I'm the type of investigator who likes to find the answers to my questions. And that was answered. And the interesting thing about that is there was no wires or anything like that. I had my cell phone. We weren't doing a live, so I had my cell phone on airplane mode. And it was far enough from that particular session. I had my phone in my bag, which was feet and feet away. I had the camera going, which would have done anything to the K2. And no, it was really, really cool when we got that response. So anyhow, anything else coming up before we get started?
As a team, we returned to Fort Woodley for a paranormal investigation on the 11th. So we're looking forward to that. We've been, we've gone back there quite a few times, and we're getting more and more stories from the place. So looking forward to that. And I think now, really, when it involves us, is the build up to the global ghost hunt. Now, that's, what we're.
I will say, Fort Woodley is not only a very, very cool place, and I can't wait for that video to come out of mine. And obviously Lex's I'm not sure if it's in his first season or the first 6 episodes he's doing. I'm not sure if it's in there. But that was a really, really super cool spot with all those tunnels and stuff like that. And I know that Fort Woodley's been on Paranormal Caught on Camera several times. And it's a great spot. There's somebody in there that's not very nice, very angry.
You said that. Yeah, I remember you saying that, especially when I think when we were going down the north wing, was it?
Nothing demonic. He's just very pissed off.
Yeah. But you were stood at the top of the tunnel, and you were very clear. You could see something before we even started anything, and you were saying he's not happy. He's not happy about.
And he wasn't. And that's when I told you guys that you guys can put everything down on the floor that you want to when it comes to equipment. He's not going to go near it. And he didn't go near it. And that's when it went into my face. It got right into my face.
And then wasn't it that you picked up some audio from your camera because you set up the camera to record, and then you picked up some kind of audio in the North Wing?
Yeah, when me and Sarah went around the corner, we went into that small room, and I did an SB7, and we captured a name. I asked for its name, and it came up with a name right away. I think it was, don't quote me on this, I think it was Alex. I think his name was Alex. I'd have to go back and look, but anyhow,
it'll be exciting. When your episodes come out, it'll be exciting to play that back and see everything, and you know,
and then the bloopers of you stepping in the fireplace is going to be a lot of fun too.
Well, I'm there to entertain people when I yeah, it was cool.
That was funny. Nando, come on, camera. Okay. He's trying to be all cool and stuff like that. Folds his arms. He's got his chin up in the air, puts his leg back, and falls in the fireplace.
Hey, it's all good fun. We had a laugh.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. So these two gentlemen, Rob Mclean and Rob Hodges, they have a group called The Patrol. I had the opportunity to investigate with them last year. So did Nando at the Merley House, or the Merley House. Merley or Merley?
Merley
House. And it was a great time, a great investigation. We got disappointed at one point in the investigation, but that's okay. You know, with that what we thought was an EVP, but it wasn't. It was I'd never heard a man who clears his throat and says a name at the same time.
Oh, geez. So we were all excited, weren't we? Every one of us were like looking at every recording, and it was like, and then we realized, I think was it Lex? It was Lex, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Lex. He was clearing his throat, and it sounded like he said a name. What was the name he said? I think it sounded like Emily, wasn't it?
Emily. Yeah, I think it was Emily.
Because Emily was caught later in the night by the other group that were there.
Yes, it was. So do you think he could have done that, you know, because the spirit made him do that and make it sound like he said Emily? Could that have been for another group to get the same name later in the evening?
Yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it?
It is a little weird, but it's weird that he clears his throat like that. And that's a very weird thing.
Yeah, that was a very weird thing. We have got some Facebook user again.
Since so.
Had a great night there with you. Can't wait to return.
That's got to be Dan. Is that Dan talking?
Oh, it might be.
It might be Dan because he was there that night at
Whitley. Yeah, might be. Yeah, might be.
So it'd be great. And do you know what I think would be great is to get Dan more involved on the shows, because
that would be good.
I would love to.
It is Dan. It is Dan.
It is Dan.
It is Dan. Hi, Dan. Nice to see you in a room.
Let's get Dan to get his face on.
I want to get Dan on the show.
Let's do it.
And with the rest of the Portal to the Paranormal group.
Yeah, we can arrange that. Dan, I'll be.
I like small little JoJo.
Oh, little Joe.
Little Joe. I like small little Joe. Joanne.
Well, we can arrange that.
She likes a lot of the stuff I do, and the stuff on TikTok as well, and the Global Ghost Hunt. And it's been a while since I've seen her.
Well,
I've just seen her likes. Did you like what I commented? Did you see what I commented today in Facebook?
No, I didn't see. No.
You didn't see it?
No.
I made a comment today that I think is not said enough.
Oh no, I did see it about people and the reasons that they're in the paranormal. Is that the one that you're on about?
This needs to go out to a few people in the paranormal world. Real paranormal researchers care about the evidence, not the numbers. That needed to be said. I don't think it's said enough. There's a few people. I can mention one name. I won't. I can mention one name. And this gentleman always puts his numbers up on his timeline and what he's getting on TikTok, all the social media platforms. So I say to myself, do you care about the numbers or do you care about the investigations?
I care. What, you asking me that question?
No, that's what I ask myself.
Oh, that's what you asked yourself.
I get a little bit sick of it, to be honest. So, and I'm tired of seeing it on my timeline. But it is what it is. So let's bring up Rob and Rob from The Patrol. Here they are, guys and girls. There they are.
Good evening. Hello.
Yeah. Do you agree with what I said on my post?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you didn't, we will say goodbye.
Funny story. Robert just saying he doesn't agree. Oh,
okay.
I agree.
Okay. So let's move that camera. Let's move that camera over a little bit. And no. Just yeah. Thank you. That's better. So, but you know, guys, it's been a while since I know we've spoken a little bit over Messenger and stuff like that, but it's actually been a year since we've seen you. It'll be a year coming up in a month and a half from March. But so what have you guys been up to? What have you guys been doing, like, with yourselves? And let the people know.
Over to you.
Great. We kind of took a bit of time out, didn't we, to kind of regroup and refocus and kind of figure out where we are, where we want to be, and kind of how to get there, I guess. Come up with a little bit of a plan of how to move forward. Work's been busy for both of us. You know, we do the paranormal stuff, but we also have full-time work as well. So yeah, it's been a good year since, really. You know, had a lot of support as well, which has been great. So
yeah. So you guys are ready to go back into it full force, and
absolutely,
and hopefully stick around for a little bit longer and do some great investigations. Now, I will say there is a particular investigation on your YouTube that people have to go and watch, and I always think about this. It's the one that you got really, really scratched badly in the forest. And I don't know why I always think about that, but I do. And it's like, because obviously we've seen videos and stuff like that, people getting scratched. That's not real. It's fake. But yours was real. And it was pretty bad scratch on the back of your neck. But people need to go over and check out that video. What was the name of that video so people can check it out? I can't recall the name of it.
I think it was Wild Park.
Yeah. So for people that are in the room now, these guys' links are in the description. You got to go check out their videos. They're really, really super good. Yeah. You know what, Anthony? I'm the exact same way. I love being in force when you're doing an investigation. And I did one in the UK, which is, I guess, I did two. Actually, I did Sherwood Forest, and I did the other one. I can't recall the other one where Rosie took us to. Yeah, which is one of the most haunted forests in the UK. And we had some really, really interesting experience when I was doing a voice recording, and the camera, I don't know if the camera caught it, but the voice recorder did. So I was starting to ask some questions, and all of a sudden we heard like it was running. Something was running up to us, and you can hear the footsteps going. And it was really, really super cool. But yeah, Anthony, I agree. I love doing forests. So anyways, guys, for people that don't know who you are, why don't you tell us how you got into the paranormal field?
Oh, blimey. Way back when. Yeah, I've always had sorry, I'm getting over a horrible chest infection as well.
No, so that's okay. That's okay.
I sound really croaky. I've always had a fascination in it. And then I was taken ill back in 2014. I passed away for a few minutes. And then it seemed to highlight everything and heighten it. And then since then, I've been really into it. And then I met this one. And he starts buying haunted dolls off the dark web and making my house haunted. And so
actually something to do.
Yeah, and then we met up with you guys, and that's the story so far.
And Mr. Mclean?
I grew up and I watched everything paranormal. I watched all the horror films, and I've always wanted something to scare me. And like horror films now, I just think they're not great, and I'm still waiting for that big scare, to come away and just think, that was really good. I need to find something new. And getting into the paranormal and being out there and actually doing it for yourself is not like a horror film. It's completely different. And it's just a rush. It's exciting. But, Rob and I, we've lived together now for
2 years.
2 years. And there is something there. There's something, you know, like Rob said, he did pass away and everything heightened for him. But us being here in the same place and doing these investigations together, I think we're both like kind of growing in that way. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you brought that up about horror films. Last night, for the first time, I watched The Conjuring.
Oh, yes.
And, you know, I've heard a lot about it. Now, I've watched Conjuring documentaries on the actual house and stuff like that. I saw one not too long ago, and it had the Perrons, or the parents, however you want to say it, being interviewed for this documentary. I would have to say I'm surprised that anybody would allow that had any association with that house to be put up on the big screen. Okay. Because that movie was, I'm sorry, that movie was absolutely ridiculous. And, you know, when they were doing the EVP catching and stuff like that, but when it came downstairs in the basement and the woman turned upside down in the chair, and, you know, like, it was just, this is what kills me about this industry. And we continue fighting this battle of being believed in what we do. And then you see a shit movie like that.
Yeah.
And you go, okay, what are we doing here? What are we trying to fight for when you got Hollywood stupid movies like that coming out? And you know what? I attempted to watch the second one just to see what the second one was like. And that was just as bad as the first one, if not more. You know, and I was thinking to myself, my God, I know it's all Hollywood and all that stuff, but you know, this is what's not helping our industry at all. When you see stuff like that,
I think it's giving the people the wrong, like when they want to get into the paranormal, you're finding out more that a lot of people are basing their journey into the paranormal field based on these films and certain TV shows. That's what I think. And they're going into it and they're not getting the same as what, you know, they're forgetting they're there for a reason. They want to get these viewers, they want to hit certain targets. But really, when you go out and investigate, it's not like the movies portray. It's very, very different. It's not. Yeah. You know, and I think that's
I have to be honest. I sometimes question on what really went on in that house. But my thought last night was, Lorraine Warren still alive when the first one came out?
Yeah.
Yes, she was.
Now, would she not have any say on how she wanted that portrayed? Because I would think that she would see that movie and go, you know what, this is ridiculous. None of this stuff happened. You know, the girl being dragged around the room with her hair, and you know, in the main room upstairs, and it was like, and the chair being turned upside down, and like just the EVPs when they were trying to capture the EVPs, and I thought it was funny when you know, obviously her husband, who I forget the guy who portrayed her husband in that, I can't recall his name, but he was going around asking questions. And I thought it was really funny because this is actually true. When you're listening back to the voice recording, you go, you know what? We didn't capture anything in the voice recording, but maybe we caught something on the camera. And we always say that. And I thought that was funny. But other than that I'm sorry, people, for people that like The Conjuring, it was absolutely ridiculous. And I'm actually, yeah. So anyhow, Nana, go ahead.
So with regards to you guys doing your investigations, can you tell us about your latest investigation or what your next investigation is going to be coming up?
Oh, well, we've got a list at the moment of places that I've emailed, I've contacted, I've had replies from 4 of them.
Yeah.
One of them, Spike Island in Ireland, the prison place over there, which I was going to talk to you about and see if you wanted to come to that as well, Nando.
Yeah, that'd be great. And we'll have to get Jenny involved because she's in Ireland as well. So,
yeah. You know, so I'm just waiting to find out like their availabilities and when we're allowed to go and do that. And then 30 East Drive, we're
both in December, aren't we?
10th of December, I think, was the last date that she had. So
that'd be an interesting one.
Yeah, yeah, because we've seen yours video doing it, but you know, we've not. So yeah,
we've always wanted to go there as well. Like,
do you know what? When you walk into that, it is a weird atmosphere in there. But I think, if I'm honest, it depends on the kind of people. I think it, you know, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to, you know, I want you to experience it for yourself. But all I would say, there is a very weird atmosphere as you're walking through the whole house. You do feel like you're being watched in every angle of every room. Like, you can go from the front room to the toilet and you feel like someone's in the toilet with you. It's just a very, so it'd be great to see what you guys pick up, and then maybe we can relay that together, and you know, we can go through what we picked up and see if it matches anything that you picked up.
Yeah, cool, definitely. And then obviously,
go ahead.
Obviously, Daryl's just moved here, so we've been looking at some of the hotels in Brighton.
We've got the Burlington.
And and there's a big one in Eastbourne. Eastbourne that is haunted in the basement, and one of Rob's friends works there. So we're looking at going down to do something down there. But we've also got another plan in the pipeline about taking drag queens with us on investigations. So because a few of them have said, "Oh yeah, we'll come." So.
Yeah,
you're kind of following the footsteps of GSI, because they did the exact same thing.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, they took some drag queens with them to, I believe it was Sherwood Forest that they took them to.
Yeah.
And have you guys been to Sherwood Forest?
No, we've not been, have we?
No.
You definitely have to take a trip to Sherwood Forest. That tree that is there is absolutely amazing, and being over 1,000 years old, when you walk up to, now obviously they have it kind of fenced off, but you know, me and Lex, we jumped the fence, and obviously, and hopefully that doesn't come back to haunt me. But so when you touch that tree, it's like the tree is like over 1,000 years old, and as soon as I touched the tree, it was almost like I was hit with something. That it was multiple, like I was seeing like different clips of films of what was going on in that particular part of the forest, which I thought was really cool. But you guys definitely have to hit there. 30 East Drive is obviously a very popular place amongst the people in UK. And what is, and anybody can answer this. I've never looked it up. What is the actual story of 30 East Drive? Why is it so haunted?
So, do you guys want to answer that one?
No, you go for it, Nando. You've been there, so
put me on the spot. Okay, so there's a film out based about the 30 East Drive. It's called When the Lights Go Out, and it's about I think the main gist of it is a young girl that lives in the house that she a very, not demonic, but a very evil energy is attached to her. And, you know, there was reports that there was knives flying across the house, you know, things were going on, and something to do with a monk. So there's a lot of stories. The father died in the house as well, according to reports, you know, so it's just, I don't like using the word demonic. I don't believe that it's a demonic entity that's meant to be in the house, but it's a very evil energy. So I believe it could be a spirit. When he was in the living world, he was very evil, and it continued in the afterlife. But yeah, that's the story. But you know, like I said, when we went there, you did get that eerie. You know, it's the atmosphere in there is very weird. But I think it's one of those places that you will need to go back and redo to build up like a story, and you know, see how the atmosphere changes. I don't think it's a place that you can just go one time and get everything. You just got to sort of repeat and then go back and see what happens.
Yeah, that's cool. I think one person I'd be scared for is Mr. Hodges here, because he seems to be a magnet for things touching him, scratching him, doing something to him, which might not necessarily be a bad thing. But at the same time, Mr. Hodges allows himself or keeps himself open to those things, so those things could happen. But there's a question up here from Daryl from Lost Souls. What was your scariest experience you guys have had on an investigation?
So I can tell you mine, and it's Rob's driving.
Well, then, no, mine's pretty bad too. When I was in the UK, and you guys followed behind me, and you saw it.
Where was it? There was a castle, wasn't it?
Bletchley Castle.
Betchworth.
Yeah.
So we went to a place called Betchworth Castle, and whilst we were there, absolutely fine. You know, getting a few bits, and on the way back, we both kind of looked at each other and was like, "We're not on our own now," and we were like, "You can't come home with us. You know, you're not allowed to touch us. You're not allowed to follow us. You must stay here." And then we get in the car on the way back. Bearing in mind it's like 2 a.m. maybe.
Yeah.
Get in the car on the way back. Rob starts driving, and then suddenly I'm nearly going through the windshield because he puts his brakes on, and he's like, "What the hell?" Blah blah blah. And I was like, "I nearly died." And he's like, "Oh, there's someone in the back of the car," and I'm like, I couldn't see anything, but I just, you know, I trust that he didn't stop the car trying to kill me on purpose. So
yes.
Yeah, there was nothing on the road, but in the back of the car there was a shadow, and I saw it in the mirror, and I was like, yeah, no. So I just stopped the car, and then I said, "Whoever's here, just leave now. That's it." But yeah, it was quite scary.
Yeah.
You were a bit dramatic, though. You know what he's like, Bryan. He's very dramatic.
Not keen on dying. Sorry.
For me, I've got two. Obviously, the scratch was exciting. As you know, I said, "Can you do it again?" when in the video. So, but the other one was when we went to Skenrith Castle in Wales. We done the Estes method, and I think it's the third video, you hear on the spirit box it's saying chest pain, breathing, and you watch me, and in that video I grabbed my chest, and then 2 days later I'm in hospital having a heart attack.
Blimey.
I forgot about that story, because you did mention that last year as well, and I think you actually told me when I was with you, or you told us. I think you told us that story when
we had that conversation when we were at Merrily House.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I remember that. And wow, I completely forgot about that story. And I'm telling you guys go watch these two videos on YouTube. I don't know what it is with Mr. Hodges, but he is a magnet towards spirits doing something to him.
But it's like when you told me about that, Rob, and I said I remember my response. He told me about the heart attack a few days later, and I was like, "Rob, don't take this the wrong way, but why are you still here? Why are you still doing this?" You know. But you know, have you ever thought about when those sort of things have happened, especially with your situation, Rob? You know, that's quite scary. That's got to be something that, you know, that must have unsettled you. Did it ever make you feel that you wanted to step away from the paranormal, having something like that happen to you so quickly after an investigation?
No, I wanted to get back out there, but obviously, like, after we'd done our tour of the UK, I had a couple of issues that I needed to sort out myself, health-wise, and that. So that's why I took the break. That's why I stepped away from the paranormal. I was getting myself into a dark hole where I felt like I couldn't get out of it. I didn't know whether it was I got something attached to me or what. But after a year, I'm like, do you know what? Fresh job, start again. Here we go.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, Bryan, I've got one more question that relates.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, because it's coming to me now. You know,
yep.
So that's happened, and this can be with both of you. You know, because it must have, you know, scared the both of you, something like that happening. Did that make you change the way you go into your investigations now? Like, do you do like protections and things like that now? Because I know some people do. Or do you just still throw yourself into it and just say, let's go and see what happens?
I personally don't believe in protections. And that, you know, maybe I'm still partially cynical on stuff. But crystals and stuff like that, I'm not. That's not for me. So I don't protect myself at all. You do sometimes, don't you?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends on where I'm going. Someone will give me advice on what crystal to have in your pocket. But I'm an open book. If someone wants to poke me, pull me, throw me around, then so be it. That's what I'm here for.
And I'll just watch.
And
while Rob's having a party being swung around.
it's like that Matt Barron thing. If Spirit or myself is on the fan and we're going, I don't want you to save me. I want you to film it.
Exactly. Just film and be done with it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because I don't think we talked about this year, last year when you guys were on the show, and I thought about it now. Like, obviously, when you got scratched in that one video, I understand it hurt, but was there anything else that maybe happened before or after after when the pain went away? Was there something that maybe you can share with people that maybe there was a warning sign, maybe there was something that maybe people can use and go, okay, well, this is going to happen, this could happen next, you know what I mean? And just prepare themselves for something like that. What would be your advice on that? And so was there a feeling or something that happened?
There was a dark feeling. So the history of the wood, 2 young girls were murdered there back in I think it was the early 80s.
Okay.
And another paranormal group had come down to investigate there, which is why we thought, well, this is our turf. We're going to go and have our thing. But we felt we were being followed through the woods anyway. And there was lots of like weird noises, like hissing and growling. So it was kind of like there's no snakes in there. And it's like, when I first got, because like at one point you can hear a slap or something, and then I actually say, "Oh, can you do it again?" And Rob goes, "Are you stupid?" You know, it's like I'm the one that's like, "Yeah, come on, do it," and Rob's like, "No, can we pack up and go home now?"
I think, you know, since that investigation, if we're doing a spirit box session, we hear a growl, we won't let it get to 3 growls, like 3 instances of a growl. So yeah, we'll pretty much stop, won't we? If we hear 1 or 2, especially if we hear 2, we won't get to 3.
Interesting. So somebody asked a question, and as people know who watch this show, we normally ask this question as well. So when you guys are out on an investigation and you want to use a particular piece of equipment, what is it you're grabbing for when you reach for your bag? And both of you can answer this.
I know what yours is.
I love my dowsing rods. My dowsing rods are amazing.
Yeah, I think we used those at the Merrily house too, right? Yeah. And Lex used them, I believe.
Yeah.
When he was sitting in that chair. So, Mr. Mclean?
Probably cat balls, something like, because I like, you know, it's definitely there because you know you're not influencing it in any way, so it's more visual for me.
Yeah. I'm definitely a visual person too, and you know, I'm glad what you said earlier about the crystals and you know the protection and all that stuff. I'm really on the fence about that stuff as well. This is my personal feeling. If they're going to touch you, if they're going to attach to you, I don't think a piece of rock is going to stop them.
Yeah. So I fully understand intention, and I fully understand manifesting that intention. But that can be done without a piece of rock, from my point of view.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we had a talk about that last year when you were on the show, how we felt about, like, me and Lex and you guys are on the same you know line when it comes to certain things that we see a lot on these popular Hollywood TV shows. I'm also not a big believer, and I think we discussed this last year too. I'm not a big believer in the whole sage thing.
No.
I think the only thing sage does is smell up your house.
Yes, very true.
So, and I know a lot of people rely on that stuff, and I think a lot of times it's the intent in your own mind, what you're using it for. But I think in reality, I don't think anything is going to stop a spirit or whatever out there to either follow you home, to touch you, obviously, with Rob being scratched. And, you know, I think they're going to do what they want to do. And if, you know, having something on your wrist or something on your, your neck is not going to stop them from doing it.
No.
And, I'm not even a huge believer in, and, maybe both of you feel this way, but I'm not a huge believer in bringing in a priest and thinking that the priest is going to do anything for you, that you can't do yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it's all Hollywood stuff that really influences people to do certain things on their investigations that you normally wouldn't see. And I don't know, it's just my opinion. I know it's your opinion too. So
yeah. That's true. Well, we've been following a local paranormal page on Facebook. Okay. And I won't name them because I don't want to upset them. Okay. But one of the guys there is saying that he's been possessed for so long. And Rob just commented saying, well, how do you know you've been possessed? But and he kicked Rob out of the group. And he was like, don't want you on my page anymore because you're asking too many questions, kind of thing.
Well, the page was named as paranormal, blah, blah, blah. And it was an open forum. And it wasn't a page about possessions, was it?
No.
So I said, looking through this timeline, every post has been about your personal possession experience. I said, maybe it might benefit people in this group for you to move that outside of this group and have a blog.
Yeah.
And I got kicked out. So,
but he's currently giving out names of local priests that can cleanse you of your evil spirits, and people have just taken the mickey out of him and it's his own group, and they're like, mate, what are you on about? But he doesn't understand that what he's saying is the kind of thing that Mr. Baggins would do over in America. I've said it now. I've got it out.
He literally 5 minutes ago, he goes, I'm going to mention his name, and I gave him a leg nudge. I was like, don't you do it.
Yeah. It's funny you said that about the group, because I was actually talking to somebody about a week and a half ago through Messenger, and she was a medium, psychic, and she spoke to animals. And she was a psychic or medium towards animals. So I started, because I was interested on maybe bringing her on the show.
Yeah.
So I started asking her a bunch of questions about, what she can do. And she said she's a psychic, but I said to her, because she started talking about being a medium, I said, well, okay, so you're a medium. So what are your psychic abilities? Because they're two different things. And at the end of it, she said to me, oh, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable now.
Oh, because you're calling her out on it.
I go, what do you mean? I go, okay, so let me ask you this. When you're able to supposedly communicate with animals, and is that because you're saying that's psychic, but that's not psychic.
No, you class that as mediumship, surely.
So I didn't understand where she was coming from. So I was asking her questions to see, maybe I could have brought her on the show because it's interesting. But everything I was asking her, it was like I would ask her a question and said, well, that's mediumship. I go, well, no, that's psychic. So,
I think people don't like being pulled up and being questioned. I think that's the biggest problem. If you're going to state something and you're going to make a bold statement, you've got to expect people that are going to come and not challenge you, but question you.
Yeah.
And when they react like that, like what you were saying, Rob, you got kicked out of the group for asking the question.
Yeah.
It sounds like she got funny with you, Bryan. I would sit there and be like, well, you've clearly got something to hide for your reaction to a simple question or a simple comment. It's weird.
Yeah. It was weird. And then she went on about how a lot of weirdos message her. And I go, okay, well, that's fine. But I'm asking you this stuff because I'd like to bring you on my show. And she had seen it before. And because I said, do you know this show? And she goes, yeah, of course I know it. So I said to her, I started asking all the questions. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, she goes, well, your energy is making me feel uncomfortable. And you know what my response was? I said, is that psychic or mediumship that you're doing right now? And it amazes me that And you're right, Nando. Like I was, she knew I was calling her out, and obviously not. I would never say a name and stuff like that because I'm not going to be, like that. But at the end of the day, it's like you need to get your story straight if you're going to be saying what you are when obviously you really aren't. And my question as well, I'm sorry, and maybe it's just me, and maybe you guys believe the same thing. I find it hard to believe that somebody's able to speak to animals through mediumship. I'm sorry. I think it's, and I'm going to say this, I think it's dumb.
I think it's a nice idea. I just don't think.
What are they going to ask you for? A cup of milk or something? Yeah. Oh, there you go. You want a cup of milk?
Oh.
I'm sorry. No, I'm with you, Brian. No, that's just crazy.
Like it absolutely makes no sense to me whatsoever. And you're right. What is the dog going to say? Like, I want to go outside. Like,
I need to go tinkles. I need to go tinkles now.
And see, here you go, right here. Like right here. I'm a medium and I don't speak to animals. There you go. I don't know who that is. Maybe you want to shout out your name or say your name, but and you're right. And I think she knew it was going in that direction. And she stopped talking. But here you go. That's this person's name. So there you go, right there. Jolene Jackson Lockwood. I believe you're on my friends list. I think, I'm not sure. But anyways, other than that, it was just, I thought it was really funny. It reminded me when you were saying that, and I just thought of that story, and I was like, there's so many people out there that are really, really hurting our industry right now. And that's, I saw something this morning which encouraged the post I made this morning. And it really, really bothered me. So guys, and I kind of already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyways. What has been your favorite place to investigate from the both of you?
Ooh. I quite like investigating at home.
Oh yeah, I'm done.
I love investigating here because it's new every day at the moment. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether this bloody doll is like woken up or something, but recently there's been a lot going on in the house, so it's a bit of a nightmare. I would say I enjoyed the wood, obviously, because I got scratched. But also,
only you would enjoy that.
Yeah, I like the early house as well, because obviously, when I went up into the loft there with you guys, something made me feel physically sick there, and it was like, yeah, this is good. And being shut down in that little tunnel where it was pitch black
through the little and in the attic, and you got that little hole, don't you? And you just sort of creep.
Yeah.
Me and you, Rob, went up there, didn't we?
I didn't like the attic.
And wasn't it Rob? Didn't he? Sorry, Nando. Did you not catch something like a shadow or something like that up in that when we were in the attic? You caught something, or was it a voice that you caught?
I got whispered in my ear, and then I had a near panic attack.
Yeah, that's it. That attic, I think, out of that whole place, other than the basement, was probably the second most active part of that house. And the basement was crazy. And like even my camera, like I look back at the footage, my camera's fuzzy the whole time. And thank goodness I got Lex's footage from his camera. But while we were downstairs in the hallway, the whole time the camera was fuzzy. It was out of focus. And the funny thing is, it was trying to focus on something, because on my camera I have this little square box that comes up when it's trying to focus on a face, and that's what it was doing. It was trying to focus on a face, and then all of a sudden, remember, I said my battery went dead like that. And it was a brand new battery, and it was gone. And that place was a really, really cool place. I can't wait for people to see that video. But moving on. Go ahead, Nando.
So my question, I'm a new investigator, or I'm an inspiring paranormal investigator. I come to you guys because you've been in the field for a number of years. What advice would you give me to be the best paranormal investigator that I can be? And, you know, how would you give advice on how to start off?
Keep an
Matt,
open mind.
Sorry, guys. Matt, are you writing that down, buddy?
Great question. Yeah, keep an open mind, because that's what we done to start off with. Yeah. We, you know, always be prepared to debunk stuff if it's not. You know, you might like Lex's demonic throat clearing. You know, we all thought we'd hit the jackpot. Then we all thought we were going to have a toy museum.
We were saying backstage, weren't we? Everyone was looking at all the audio. We were looking at the cameras, and you know, we thought we got the best sort of, you know, audio ever. And then it turned out to be Lex just clearing his throat. Bless him.
It was the thing that Lex left us to, like. I think he knew, because he was like, "Oh no," and you could look at like the worry in his face. It was like, "Yeah, okay, Lex, what have you done?" But yeah, keep an open mind. Contact Bryan and Lex, because they helped us out a lot when we first started. You know, they got us on the show, and we grew from them, really. And then we met you guys and GSI, and everything from there has been really good.
I'd say at the end of the day, you know, don't have any expectations when you go to any location, and when you are investigating, do it for you. At the end of the day, like, you're doing it for a reason. There's a reason you started, so there's a reason to carry on.
Yeah,
yeah, I completely agree. And you know what I was trying to find? I was trying to find that picture. I was trying to find that picture that I know I have it somewhere here. I was trying to find that picture you created, Rob, last year of Lex and the McDonald's thing and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That. And the tour. And it was all about the tour and stuff like that. I was trying to find it because I know I still have it. It's too bad. I should have looked for it earlier today, because I would have loved to put that up.
And just to follow on while Brian's looking for that picture, you know, we're talking about a new investigator. What, like, imagine a starter pack. I want to create a starter pack of equipment to take out with me. What would you say to put in your starter pack to start building yourself for equipment?
Torch. So, you know, the torches that can be easier manipulated, not like a, you know, massive one.
Yeah.
So take a couple of torches out with you. Cat balls, I reckon. Your dowsing rods.
Dowsing rods, definitely.
Yeah.
We only started with a mobile phone. It wasn't until yesterday that we got a camera after speaking to Bryan. So, you know.
And something to kind of dull all your senses, like just, you know, a blindfold or noise cancelling headphones. They don't have to be connected to anything, as long as they reduce all your noise, and then you can just focus on what's physically there.
That's great. So you know, it's funny you mentioned earlier, this guy that is sitting right here, this Mr. Nando guy, he's got you guys need to get in touch with Nando, because you can make your list a hell of a lot longer. Because this guy has a list of haunted places in the UK, and I think I asked him last year. I think it was close to 700.
Yeah, I did it with loads of locations. Like, I've put them all down on spreadsheets. You know, there's so many. You know, so, and I think me and Rob were talking about it. I don't know which Rob, through the patrol Facebook Messenger, and we were saying about you guys coming down and, you know, doing an investigation with us.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It'll be great, you know, because we had such a good time at Merrily House when we all met up. I think it'll be definitely great. But there's so many different places to investigate, and it'll be great to do more with other groups, because it's not about keeping it all to ourselves and, you know, this is our thing. Share it out, you know. You know, one thing I must say, and I'm sure you guys would agree, when Bryan and Lex come down, you know, I learned how to use the SB7 a lot more through watching Bryan doing it, because I didn't really understand it at first. You know, I was a bit like, you know, still learning. But now, since doing it, we've got some really good responses from the SB7, and I think it was just like simple things like Bryan's got a technique every time he will introduce himself before he asks any questions. He said, "This is who I am. this is who I'm with. So I just think it's great for us to all be able to work together and just have a good time as well.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I really loved about coming down to the U, and I say this all the time. One thing I really enjoyed coming down to the UK, obviously the investigating was a lot of fun, but it's working with you two, Nando and Sarah and John and Ralph from GSI. That's what I'm going to always remember. The investigations were great, and I'll always remember the investigations, but what's really going to stick out to me is making new friends and being able to, you know, it's just talk and laugh and have a lot of fun, because we did.
Yeah,
we had a lot of laughs, and I think we had a lot of laughs in the basement at the Murley house, in that one room that we were filming in and doing a spirit box session in, and we're getting a lot of things coming through, and I could see the passion in everybody's eyes when something was coming through, and we were all trying to hear, is that what it said? Is that what it said? And, you know, it's just, that's the stuff I'm going to remember with you guys. Now, obviously some people know that my plan is to come down this September again. But this time, I think what we're going to do is, me and Lex are not only going to be in the UK, but I think we're going to hit Ireland. I think we're also going to hit Scotland as well. So it's going to be kind of a cross tour against the right across the UK. I'm saying that on purpose because Jenny's in the room.
should be there. Should be fine there now.
Because Ireland's not part of the UK. So final question, guys. And you know this question from last year, so people in the room that haven't seen you before get to hear your answer on this. It's not going to be funky like Lex. I'm not going to, you know, he does a whole thing with it. And so if I were to give you a bag full of money and you could go anywhere in the world to investigate, where would it be?
You go first.
I kind of want to go to the old Washoe Club in America.
Good one. And that might be because I know there's a guy joining and he might be doing that. So it might be part of the Global Ghost Hunt.
Okay.
No.
So, and we just had somebody sign up yesterday who's going to be doing the, what's that place? The Hensley House or
the Hinsdale House?
The Hinsdale House. Thank you very much. The name slipped my mind there. He's going to be doing the Hinsdale House for the investigation. And I know a lot of people love the Hinsdale House. So that's a great spot. And Mr. Hodges?
Queen Mary in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I think that's different from your answer from last year.
Yeah, last year it was the Trans-Allegheny, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. But I keep watching more and more people going to the Queen Mary, and I'm like, I quite fancy having a go there.
Yeah. I get it. There's one place that's always been on my list that I just found out recently. I found out yesterday they don't allow anybody to come in and investigate anymore, which is very disappointing because it's a great spot. But they turned it into a concert place and a winery, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've always wanted to go there, and I'm very disappointed finding out that it's not available anymore. It's been on Ghost Hunter shows, and a lot of people have filmed there. It's a great place. It's out in Tennessee. But anyways, guys, you know what? This has been fantastic. What I'd like you to do is, if you could, I know the links are in the bottom, but if you can share out your links to everybody, that would be great. And again, I know what you answered earlier, but maybe I know you have a list, but maybe keep people in a little bit of suspense what you're going to maybe be doing first. So go ahead.
Well, maybe doing first. We have found a new graveyard close to us. There is an old war graveyard before, before World War One. They got a load of tombs, and there's a tomb trail, and it just involves a very high wall to climb over first to get to it. So,
or we could be going to Ireland.
Yeah, or we could be going over to Ireland, to the
Hellfire Caves.
Yeah, Hellfire Clubhouse and Caves. Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There's quite a few Hellfire clubs, is there not? I believe there's one out in the States as well, is there not?
Yeah, there's one in London as well.
Yeah. That's great. And share out your links, where the people can find you.
Yes, we're on Facebook, obviously, just under the Patrol Paranormal. Twitter is the Patrol 2020.
Instagram.
Instagram, and then YouTube, which is the Patrol Paranormal.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, and Parapost.
There. Oh, see, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
which is under my name. It's Robert.Hodges. So, but the page is Patrol.
I was going to put Rob's too, and I apologize, Mr. Mclean, that I didn't put yours. So I put Rob's up there. So, but you know what, guys, this has been a lot of fun, and I love having you both on. And I don't think you've been on enough to be in my mind. So I'll have a talk with Lex and give Lex crap for not bringing you on more. It's all Lex's fault. Let's blame Lex because he's not here. No, it's not Lex's fault. No, but I really appreciate you guys coming on. I can't wait to meet up with you guys again in September. And we'll do a lot more investigations this time. We only got to do a couple last time.
Yeah.
And I want to do a lot more with you guys because obviously I love investigating with you guys, and you're great people. And again, people, go over to their YouTube and go over and subscribe to their YouTube. Their links are below. And again, guys, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Thank you so much for coming on today's show, and we'll definitely talk soon because we got some other things on the go.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Nando?
You know, it's great to catch up with you guys from meeting you at Merrily last year, you know, and it'll be great to follow up with you guys and do something because we're not too far away. So we have a great opportunity to do something together, you know, so I definitely want to be in touch with you guys, you know, let me know, work out some kind of dates, and then we can get you with the whole team. I know Dan would love to have you guys back and do something together, but it's been great chatting to you and, you know, speaking more in depth about your stories and your experiences and how this all got started. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to now you're back on the, you know, back on it, you know, what you're going to bring, and, you know, look forward to your next, you know, episodes coming on YouTube and everything. So really excited to see that come out.
Definitely.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cool. So if you guys want to wait in the back for a few minutes, we're just going to say our goodbyes, and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay.
No worries. Cheers.
See you in a minute.
Yeah.
That was, you know what, and like I said, I love these guys, and they're great guys, and I really, really enjoyed investigating with them, and I look forward to doing more with them. But I definitely want to say thank you for everybody that came in the room today and watched the show, watched these guys. So please, guys, go over to YouTube and give them a follow and watch some of their videos, and even comment and say, we saw you on Through the Lens, and we love your investigations, and also their Facebook page too. So, but I'm going to say my goodbyes. I want to thank everybody again. I want to thank everybody that came in the room today to watch, and we'll definitely see you next week. Hopefully Lex is back next week. And again, I want to thank you, Nando, for filling in for Lex. You want to say anything before we let everybody go? What's going on with Portal to the Paranormal?
Yeah, so we're Portal to the Paranormal. We have our next investigation on the 11th of February. We're going back to Fort Woodley. You know, so we hopefully we won't be able to go live because, as you know, we're going into the tunnels. There is no signal, but we will be doing some pre-recordings and then posting stuff up on our Facebook page. And then again, for us, you know, with the Global Ghost Hunt, you know, there's a lot to come. Me and Matt Barron are working on another show, talking about the Global Ghost Hunt, and hopefully reaching out to more teams that have signed on. And you know, I just want to say thank you, Bryan. You know, you put, you know, allow me to be co-host, and you know, coming on and you know, joining you on your show. And
you know, it's funny. I thought you might forget because you were a little tipsy last night when I asked you?
Do you know, I've got to be honest, I did say to Janet and Sarah today, I was like, he caught me as I was having a nice glass of wine, and I was just like, I don't know what to say, but no, I'm happy I've done it. You know, I think this has helped me build a lot of confidence, you know, being on the camera a lot more. And,
of course,
you know, it's been absolutely great. And again, I just want to thank you for allowing me to be part of your show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome, man. I'm glad you came up. And next week, we will have hopefully GSI from the UK as well. And hopefully Fakers will be back, because we were supposed to do Fakers last week. And unfortunately, the show went a lot longer, and we ended up doing some other stuff with Steve-O. And we never got to it because Lex supposedly had a great one. So, but that will be coming back next week. So hopefully it is a good one, because I've been waiting 2 weeks for it.
Yeah, and just to mention with Lex, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, me too, Lex.
Always, if you need someone to chat to, please feel free to reach out.
Yes.
And I hope I did you proud on the show, replacing you for the evening and being the co-host. So I hope you're happy with
Jesus, you were a hell of a lot better than Jenny.
oh, mate. I'm not gonna say it. You're going to rally up the Irish, and you know she's going to come for you.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. She knows I'm kidding. She knows.
She'll be sat there going, "Oh, Bryan, right? Don't do it, Bryan."
I could just see her. You know what's funny? I could just see her face going, lifting up her glasses, going,
"Did he do that? Did he?" Give it 5 minutes. You'll have a nice message from her. She'll be up.
Anyways, everybody, we'll definitely see you next week. And again, thank you for coming in today's show. I want you to have a great evening, a great rest of the week. And until next time.
Bye, everyone.